Okay. Greetings to those of you who might be watching me from the other side of the tubes. My name is Gnarly Quack, although my friends and enemies call me Carl, and I am coming to you live from the shore of Lake Michigan. It's like Groundhog Day around here because it is another warm and sunny day here in the windy city of Chicago. With August coming to a close, I'm not sure how many more of those we have left, so gotta enjoy them while you can. And also, I am back and working on Dr. Strangetest, my testing framework for PHP. And we are waist deep in the muck trying to figure out these friendly diffs. We want the diffs to be friendly, but the diffs seem intent on just poking me in the eye instead. Which is to say, left things off yesterday with the code in a pretty janky state and not even functional really. That's to say our tests were failing. And I don't usually like to leave stuff that way, but it also felt like a little bit of a struggle yesterday. I was kind of having a hard time getting a grip on what was going on. There's kind of a leveled recursion going on in the code that makes it just a little bit hard to sort of reason about. Also, I think went a little bit overboard on some of the oopiness, and so I was struggling to get access to data that I had made private. So struggling with that, and then also just inflicting some copy pasts on myself for just typing stupid stuff that would lead to frustrating debugging where I realized, oh, I just mistyped something or is copy pasta. But anyway, it's a fresh day. We have some fresh energy, hopefully a fresh perspective, and we will not be dissuaded. Even if like Al Capone and the Untouchables, well, we're gonna have to get our baseball bat out and beat the life out of these diffs until they succumb to our will. But anyway, let's with that unpleasant metaphor aside, let's get back into it. And I guess I'll just reset the table a little bit here, and maybe as I make these notes, I'll save it just in case somebody decides to raid again. But what is going on here, at least for today, and this is where we left off, is what am I doing? Oh, oops. Well, I got papers blowing around because the fan's on and things are not properly weighted down. But yeah, so in PHP, well, not just PHP, but what is happening here is we're trying to diff some arrays, and we may have something like this, like a dictionary, really. But in PHP, those are the same thing. And as I explained again yesterday, since my framework tries to support, well, hopefully doesn't try, it does support PHP all the way back to version 5.3. I'm used to using the old array syntax, whereas nowadays it would just be like every other language. So maybe I can just change that. But so this is, we're saying this is maybe this is our actual array, and we want to compare that with our expected array, where instead of bar, this is baz, so our diff is going to be something like array. Right, all this is going to be the same. And the way things get formatted right now is it would be something like that. 1 goes to 2, and 2 goes to 3. And then we would have, so we wanted bar, but we got bar, we wanted baz. And then this would be just 0 goes to 4, 1 goes to 5, and then 2 goes to 6. So this is kind of what we're talking about here. Guess we don't really need that. And then so we actually had bar, we wanted baz, and right now the way things are set up in the code is in order to generate this diff, we're gonna basically do a complete diff of these two arrays, and it's basically for an array of length m and an array of length n, that is an m times n operation. So if these are fairly large arrays, that can get expensive. when all we really need to do is print out one of these arrays and then basically swap out the first line. So that's what's going on today. I guess I'll leave this up in case anybody comes in. The only problem with that is now I need to figure out how to close this window without destroying everything. I guess I will. Yeah, I guess I'll just save that and then close that buffer out. And so just to kind of step through, let me just, maybe things fix themselves overnight. That seems unlikely, but you never know. So let's just run the test suite, see what kind of mess we have here. Oh, so this bug did pop up, but anyway, so there are some problems there. Just test. Yeah, so everything is still in a horrible state of brokenness. So just to kind of freshen our memory up. So this compare values is sort of the bottom level, the bottom step here, the bottom of the tree, I guess, top of the tree, depending on one's perspective, where we take two values and we compare. We basically start off by the default of no match. If their keys match, then we say they match in the key. And then depending on the type of comparison we're doing, we see if that matches, and if they match, then we also say they match in value, and then we return that result. So let's see where we call this from. And this, I think I walked through yesterday and said, okay, well, so I guess just to back up one second, the change I did yesterday was it used to just return a true or false based on whether everything compared or nothing compared, and instead yesterday we split out whether we got a match on just the key or we got a match on the value, one or the other or both, or no match. Neither, both, neither, either, both. There we go. So everything went from, or could go from, a straight Boolean comparison to see what actually matched. And to start off with, we kept the semantics the same. So matching everything was the same as just matching on true. And I was stepping through to see, okay, now that we're distinguishing between matching on the key and matching on the value, where can we take advantage to do less work that we would otherwise normally do? So I think building a diff from an edit, I walked through this yesterday and determined we want to keep this match all. I think that's the only place there we call that. And then we're here in LCS values. And this little change here, because this was match all, and everything seemed to be fine and dandy, and I switched this to match value, and everything fell to pieces, and then now here we are today. What did I guess I put that extraneous return in there. And I also had sort of a hard time figuring out the logic here. I don't know why. I guess I was just tired yesterday or something. But so, and I feel like there's a hint in the name here. This is telling us basically the longest common substring or subsequence, because it doesn't need to be a string, between two values. And the only way we can have any sort of common subsequence is if the values all match. So if we get back here that the values match, then we just return the fact, right? We save off the match we got back from compare values, and then we calculate the longest common subsequence, which in this case will be the max of whichever value we're comparing. And that also helps us take into account loose comparisons, because the types may not actually be the same, and so depending on what we're comparing, they may have different costs. So to be conservative, we just take the max cost. Otherwise, we don't have matching values, and then in that case, if the types of the two values are the same, then maybe there's a chance, if it's like a composite value, which is either a multi-line string or an array or an object, maybe there's a chance that we have a partial match. Like if it's 5-line string, maybe 3 lines are in common and 2 lines have changed. Or if it's a 5-element array, same thing. two of the elements are different, but the other three are all the same. And so we check to see if we have anything in common. And if we do, we basically use that to calculate this longest common subsequence. And then we save that off and return that. So in either case, we either have that values match or values don't match, or the keys match and the keys don't match. So what's going on here is completely independent of whatever the state of the key is. So now we need to figure out what uses this. And this is LCS array, and I had purposely skipped that. I had not actually gotten to that yet, and we're going to want to. But here's where the mess is, here in diff values. So this is where I got stuck. So let's maybe come back over here. So in diff values, so now we get back a, well, do we have, yeah, so maybe, I know, I feel like I kind of want to call that result, and this is me again going off the rails on deciding what to name my variables. But normally I use result for something I'm going to return. But anyway, instead of procrastinating here, we'll just get through this. So we get back a result from this LCS, and if it turns out everything matches, this is just a straight up copy. And it turns out if we don't have any match at all, which is indicated by the longest common subsequence being 0, meaning there's nothing in common between the two elements. It's a straight up delete and insert. We're actually building the diff backwards. And so we put the insert first and then the delete. And then otherwise, ... Now what? So I think my first mistake was I just bumped this in, and I think if we get here, so if we get past here, then there's something in common between the two values. And one thing that changed was now that we're separating out whether the values have matched differently from the key. It used to be, if we got past this point, the only way we could have a non-zero longest, right? The only way we could not have a match and have a non-zero longest common subsequence is if it was a composite value. But we've changed that now. What we're saying is, well, maybe just the keys don't match and the values perfectly match. So we can still have like a scalar value here, whereas before or yesterday, I guess I didn't really realize this. The assumption was, okay, we have a composite value, and now we have to figure out, we basically have to run a subdiff on the two values based on what we have. But here we can still have a scalar value that maybe they only differ in key. Oops. And so I think let's start out cautiously. Let's start out by bumping this back out. And now let's think about this a little bit. So this if condition is complete bogus. I had a moment of triumph last night, and this is right before I knocked off, where I thought, okay, I got it, and then instead it turned out I did not have it at all. And I was a little bit deflated, and I was like, well, okay, maybe it's time to go get some food in me. But okay, and here's where all the nastiness, where I'm trying to access private variables in these objects. But now instead of blabbing, I guess I'm going to have to actually think about what I'm doing here. So if we have a match in value, then we just need to change out the keys. And so we grab the key, or we grab the indent, we grab the actual format of the key, and we grab the line end, and then we grab the value. And I'd forgotten I had done this, so where is... Somebody's getting angry at me here that I'm passing a... a non-variable into a reference here, and then if we get here, and this is just to make sure we're nothing weird is happening. Because I mentioned this yesterday, but I didn't really explain it. I have a to-do in the code about, which I guess I can just show. These are different diff comparison operators, and I have this to-do about trying to figure out if there's anything I need to do with the spaceship comparison. But the point is, that just in case I add another operator here, I want to make sure something breaks so I can, well, that's actually not even here. That's a different part of code. I'm already off to a dicey start here. But anyway, just in case something changes, I want code to break so I know I have to come back and deal with something. Okay, so we get the value. Then this is just stuff to set up our formatting. And it's important. So I feel like some changes also need to happen to the formatting API. Because there's only... Really, the only reason we pass this loose comparison in here is to know if we need to slap an ID on this object. But it's a little bit, it seems a little bit janky that different calls have different parameters. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, but anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. So if this is an array and this is an object and this is a string, although I think I said at this point, this probably eats up our invalid code pass, but what I do want to do is assert that from type does not equal a string part. Oops. In my code, my tests may not be what is the type of return here? String part. And if I thought about this a little bit more, it may not actually matter. But otherwise, we want to format a scalar. And I think we need to get rid of that. And then get rid of that. So now the other thing here, and I think this is ultimately what might have been tripping me up last night, is not realizing that a scalar could get this far. And then also that the string split first might not return an array if there's not a new line in there, which if it's a single line value, like a scalar, it won't. And I seem to be inordinately obsessed with having the API or the signature of this function match existing functions in the PHP standard library. But what am I? I'm trying to pull up the util. But it seems like what it would be more useful is to have a function that does something useful for us. So instead of always returning, and I excuse me, I'm already drying out my throat. And we may not want to keep using explode there. So, okay. Sorry, I'm going to turn my fan up. I want to make sure my stream doesn't have an early end like it did about a week or two ago. And having the fan on actually seems to really help. And I just want to make sure there's not some weirdness running in a web browser somewhere. What do I have over here? Nothing. Excuse me 1 second while I go private. Okay. Like I said, it is warm today, so maybe it's just the heat. But I had been playing around with this yesterday. I want to see what explode does. So what is our string is going to be hello world. And that means we're going to have to call up explode. So it's separator, separator, string, and limit. I think we're saying we want to pass 2 in there. Just see what we get. So if we don't actually find the separator in there, we get back a single element array. And let me just make sure that's consistent across all versions. And I suppose while we're waiting for that, we could do hello world, what up? Okay, so that looks good. Except I need the semicolon there. And I just want to make sure this is consistent now, going back to 5.3. And I may not want to, you know what, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, because what I feel like, so one of the things I was running into is, right, as we just saw, if we don't find the separator in here, then this is still going to return an array, but a single element array, and I'm expecting to get back 2 elements, the first line and the rest of it. And what I think I want to do is, instead of returning an array regardless, is basically return a falsy value. And that way I can just make this a simple conditional, and based on the conditional, right, we're going to have a little bit different logic here. So let's do that. I feel like to sort of make that simple, we'll just nick, well actually, instead of using explode, we'll just do this manually and nick the code from string split last. So let me pull up the docs for stirpos. Let's point that over there. Oops, of course. All right, so haystack, needle, and offset equals 0. So we don't need an explicit offset. So haystack is going to be string. So if we don't get the position, then maybe we just set result to, so let's set result equal to false, and then if false does not equal the position, then we'll do, let's throw this in the opposite order. First is going to be substring 0 to pos, and then rest is going to be the string from pos plus 1, just the rest of the string, and then we'll set that first rest. And I guess there's one, if this could run into a problem if pos actually goes past the end of the string. Let's see if this says anything useful about. So they've deleted all the changelog from prior to 7.1. So I guess we're just going to have to do this ourselves. So let's go pos equals stirpos, what is it? String Let's just go echo pause equals, and let's spit that pause out. And then let's var, let's what are we doing? We're substringing the string from pause plus 1. Let's see what we get here. So that does give us back an empty string. Let's see if this breaks on. Well, it doesn't break, but it gives us a different return value. But it doesn't actually apparently cause an error. Let's just echo error reporting just to make sure. So make sure all errors are turned on. They're not all turned on. Okay, so let's just make sure error reporting is turned on. I guess our test matrix would probably catch this, but it'd be nice to just catch this before. Okay. So now let's think about what we want to do here. If rest is false, does that matter? We may just want to return false again. Right, because if the line ends on a new line and that next line is blank, there's not actually a next line. So what we'll do is we'll cast this to a string. Let's just do make a backwards compatibility node in there, and that is for 5.6. Substring with pause greater than equal string length returns false. So then it's if Sterling rest greater than 0, then we'll set this result and return it. So back over here, let's call this split equals now the split. We'll do list, I guess, start rest equals split, and then we're going to want to do this. We're basically going to want to, from start equals the indent plus the format key plus start. To start equals well, actually, you know what? No, this is fine. This is fine. All right, so I'll copy the string. So that looks good. Otherwise, we're going to do this insert delete. Actually, the only difference here is that we need to copy this rest. So, okay. So then list, I'll start equals, it's just going to be string, I think. So at this point then, indent key start, indent to key start. Oh, yeah, we need to sort out this line ending. So we'll do that up here. So attack the line ending on to the end of start, and here we'll do it on rest. All right. 1262. Right, am I in the right file? Diff 1262. Okay, that goes away. Well, I suppose, right, I should probably think through this before just starting to run tests. So okay, so I believe after this point, this might actually work. This might actually work. Let's run some tests here and see what happens. Not much. 1241. Oh, I'm saving all my files might help. Okay, and this is angry with the false, or and at this point we can actually get rid of this function that we don't actually need. Okay, so make test. Oh my gosh, what? Must have hit. So, I wonder if I can even figure this out since my diffs are presumably all broken here. How many failures do I have? 22. So not a small number. So we were expecting, or no, we got that. And we were supposed to get that. Right, actual expected, we were supposed to get all right. This is in 934. So we actually got that. Well, that makes no sense to me. But of course, it's probably, like I said, I may not be able to figure this out because if my diffs are broken. Uh, right, and I had no errors, right? Okay. I almost feel like almost feel like something in here is wrong. Okay, position does not equal false. Grab first. First and rest. Result equals first and rest. Gonna split string. Let's see what that gives us. Gonna split string. So 521. Where's this 934? Oh, I've got like tests open. I forgot I had files open from yesterday still. So 934. So we got 5 and we got gonna split string 5. 2 and 1. Does that make any sense? It's like when we're doing equality. This is what we got, I guess. One. So that's wrong. So let's even see if we're getting a 0, 1 should be 2. Yep. 2 should be 3. And 3 should be 4. Wait a minute. This may actually... We actually got 0 is 1. So this is wrong. So why is that wrong? Doesn't make sense to me why that's wrong. Or am I just doing something incredibly stupid here? Which seems to be the theme. So rest gets copied. One. Wait, this is oh, this is not even the right. I 3 to 4. I'm not gonna lie, I am totally confused right now. Well, let me see if I can get 22 failed and test assert less. What was I looking at here on 777? So I almost feel like part of what's going on here is I'm no longer just getting a condensed diff. What order am I putting these in? It should be... So I doubt that will, what do we have? 22 failures. Still have 22 failures. Let's see what this gives us. These seem to be, I feel like those are flipped around from what they should be, but still 22 failures. And what, so that explains that, but what I don't understand is why, wait, this is saying this is expected. Except, right, everything's backwards because I swapped those parameters earlier. So actual is wrong, and expected is this. So I guess I don't understand how this is comparing. Okay, that makes sense, but I don't know why. Oh, I guess because it's okay, that makes sense because it's a less. So a string and a scalar, that makes sense. Oh, a scalar and a string. Let's just go whole hog here. Just bump that down there. So in class, so not from key format variable. Oh. Well, none of our assertions are actually failing at this point. So maybe that means something. So let's just put key here. And that var value. Match value on. So how are those out of sync? Actually, let's get up to the right test. 777. Test equal array. So 2 goes to 3 and 3 goes to 4. I wonder if there's something going on with recursion where that still doesn't make any sense to me though. Because right, 3 and 4 have different values. Those are obviously not the same value. All right. Compare values. Am I? Oh, well. If it's identical, it's equal, it's greater, if it's greater equal, if it's less, if it's less equal, So one thing that's wrong is that. Not that that actually changed anything. Match value on 2 and 3 and 1 and well, actually, the same thing. This should be and match value as well. Well, we made some progress there. We cut our failures down to about half. Is 777 still failing? Yes, because we're still getting these shifted by 1, and I have no idea how that's happening. This is a pickle. Is pickle a right word? Conundrum? All right, so let's take a maybe. So test 777 is what? Assert less. So these are equal. So none of these should. I don't even understand how any of these are even matching. Once again, it's so let's walk through this. So we're going to LCS values from 2, which means we're going to compare values. So I believe key should match. So only keys should match, I believe. So where is we have from and to. Let's indent this. Values. Operator. 4. Two. All right. I actually need to take a bathroom break here. Let me just see if I can get this to. Uh, Output. Okay. Oh, because now we're in string part. All right. I am gonna use the washroom real quick. Well, maybe not actually all that quick. But yeah. All right. I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break, so I'll be back in 10. I think that ended up being very much closer to 15, maybe even 20 minutes than 10. So sorry about that. Ended up having to finish my coffee, and I've been trying to get into the habit after I finish my morning coffee to go brush my teeth and stuff. So one thing led to another. So I am half contemplating pulling out the PHP debugger, which I have been trying to not do. Because I feel like that would be a deeply unpleasant experience. Unless it has been significantly updated lately, but I somehow doubt that. Let me just see if I can do a quick fix on this and get it. All right. Well, that's really just spamming the output now, isn't it? So let's, plus I don't even think I put in what I wanted to there. So what is this test on 777? I feel like homing in on this. So this is this here. So this is in test assertions. And it's going to be class equals that, I believe. Okay, so now we just got that one test coming up. Now let's focus on this. Result of operator. So comparison equals equals, and this is result for get the class, then the from key, and that, and then also want to tab that in. All right, let's get up here. Good Lord, that's a lot of... Oh, of course, now we're also, this is also happening on so keys match. Keys match. Values match. So is this what's happening here? So we expect to get 1 and 2. We actually got 1 and 1. So key match, value match. So does this, first of all, does this diff even make any sense? So we expected, no, we actually got an actual, so this is what we actually got. Does this even make any sense? I don't think that does, right? It's telling us one. We got a one, but it needs to be greater than two. One, two, three, four. So the expected makes sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. So, we can see we're walking for element 0. We're walking through the other 3 and seeing how they compare. So we're looking for less. So 1 is less than all of those. And then 1, nothing matches. Keys match, values match, and values match. Nothing matches, nothing matches. Okay, so what happens here? Well, so much for today going smoother. If I was waist deep in the muck when I started, it's kind of up, like right up to here at this point. Okay, so what did we get back? We got back a 1, which means, I believe we said right, match key. Yeah, so only the key matches. So we're now so value does not match. So the two types are the same, which they are. They're both instances of array, which they are. Then LCS is 1. Then we're going to LCS the array. So let's dump this edit out. Oh, yeah, I don't need that. So let's... Are we not getting here? Comparing values. Compare result. Compare results is 1. So by match types matched between composite types. What do we have? Am I not? What is this error? Format. I guess that might be the problem. So the types matched. Different composite types. Okay, let's just knock this out of there. All right, let's see if we can figure out what this. So we can figure out what this LCS array. So from is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And just to be clear, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And 0, 0, 0, 0. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So from is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Then 0, 0, 1, 2, 2. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. and then 0, 1, 2, 3. And this is a less of equal arrays. So, right. 1 is not less than 1. 1 is less than 2. So that's a 1. 1 is less than 4, so that's a 1. 1 is less than 4, so that's a 1. So we come back here. 0. 2 is not less than 1. So we pull a 0. 2 is not less than 2, so we pull this 1 down. 2 is less than 3, so 1 plus 1 is there. 2 is less than 4, so 1 plus 1 is there. So same thing here. 3 is not less than 2, so we pull 1 down there. And so we pull 3 is less than 4, so that goes to 3, so we pull that. So then this is telling us so we subtract a 4. That goes down. Then we shift and what? We get a 3. And then a 2. And then a 1. So maybe this just doesn't work. This may just flat out not work. Which is what I'm beginning to suspect. And then we go here, so we add a 1. Because 1, 1, 2, 3 would indeed be less than 1, 2, 3, 4. But what is the actual that we said we're getting? 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 3. So if we just organize this into something legible. What is this saying? Subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add 1, 1, 2, 3. But everything's getting So what I guess I don't understand about this is how it is that take into account values separate from the keys and that as a whole, how that causes such a dramatic shift in the diff. Right, because we were getting the value we expected when we were taking into account the key and the value together. But not so now when we're just taking into account values. Right, basically it's telling us flop off the 4, stick another 1 on the front. You're done. Which is true, but not the only solution, right? So that's interesting. So maybe that is an optimization we can't make. But I wonder if that has an implications for my other to-do, which was to not take into account array keys if it's just a straight up list. So I guess the way I'm right now, based on this, it seems like we either right, because the other thing that happened here is like half of our tests passed. So I suspect all the tests that failed were the greater than or less than of course, we have so much output now going on. Where else do we have? I doubt that's actually being... Okay, yeah, figure out move him. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we've got all the output. So assert less, assert less, assert less, assert greater, assert greater. There's an indent level, so something's still trying to get indent level. I guess we must have some sort of okay, that got it all. Something must not have. Where's this even happening? Now it's failing. Nay. Because I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, string part doesn't have a name. Okay, so, but, okay. All that nonsense aside, so the only thing that's failing here is this assert greater or less than. I don't know why this is saying this failed. Oh, but you know why? Because it threw an assertion error. Okay. So what am I saying here? So I guess for greater than or less than comparisons, we can't optimize out the key apparently, at least to get the type of diffs we want, which suggests we should either do away with trying to do a diff for greater than or less than, or yeah, I guess I feel like that's what we're honing in on. We either can't do greater diffs for greater than or less thans, or we can't optimize out array keys because it changes the outcome of the diff. And perhaps, boy, so this gets then like potentially super complicated, right? We can maybe even keep track of that in code where we know. So right, that there's two sides of that. Then there's the display side, and then there's the comparison side. So we're saying like, okay, so if we're doing a greater than or less than comparison, we can optimize out comparing against keys. Or, oh, so yeah, we can optimize that out, but maybe when it comes to printing out the keys, we still don't want to show them. Oof, I don't know. And does this make sense? I mean, this doesn't really make sense as output because it's saying get rid of a 0, 1 and put in a 0, 1, but that makes total sense of what we were telling it to do. Gosh, that's tricky. That's tricky. Well, so where does that leave me? I feel like that leaves me wanting to think about it. And I do have some other things this afternoon I have to take care of, which I guess I can go take care of, and if I find inspiration or something, I guess I could maybe hop back on this evening. Because right, the next thing I was, well, A, this really isn't working, so I still haven't fixed this. Although I think I understand what's going on now, at least. So that's that's progress. But then B, right, my next to do was to optimize out, or not optimize, but make diffs friendlier by not showing array keys if they weren't important to the diff. Because like if you just have like if your array is just basically like a straight up list and you have an insert at the beginning or delete or something, in addition to seeing that removed or added element, all the array keys down the line shift. So it really, right, it makes it look like the entire array changed, which I guess from a certain perspective it did, but right, semantically we're just talking about we inserted an element. So unless it was like a dictionary or something, or something where it wasn't a list, I was thinking, okay, let's just not show the keys. And we're seeing now how that, right, I guess we're seeing that optimization, or that I don't know if that'd even be an optimization, like that would work. But it's just this less than or greater than comparison is really, it's screwing that all up. But so even if I decide, okay, diff is the wrong thing, diff, although I feel like in the last stream, I had also sort of nailed down a good idea of what to show there. It's going to have to significantly complicate the code to handle that, which I'm not saying shouldn't happen. Okay, yeah, so I think this ended up being, I think, a fairly short stream. Well, I'm at 2 hours already. Yeah, so I guess I'll think about that. And it's probably more likely I'm going to hop back on tomorrow than later tonight, but see how the rest of the day goes, I suppose. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. Stew over this for a bit. You know, it's starting to pull the baseball bat out, but I think the diffs pulled the baseball bat out on me. So there you go. That's what happens when you make idle threats. But yeah, if anybody's hanging out, lurking, or anything, appreciate you checking in. I don't know how much fun it was to watch me struggle there, but there you go. Yeah, I guess wherever you are, hope you're doing well and taking care of yourself. And I guess the next time I stream, I'm not going to see you, but you'll probably see me. So take it easy. Oh, and somebody just followed me. Thank you for the follow. I guess I guess you enjoyed watching me struggle. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate the follow, and take care of yourself. And like I said, I won't see you next time, but you'll probably see me. See ya.